So our goals: derive the laws of radicals and simplify radical expressions using the laws of radicals. A radical is in its simplest form when there is no perfect n power in the radicand, when the index is n, hanggat may mai-extract, i-extract natin. Kaya dapat kabisado nyo yung mga perfect squares, perfect cubes, and so on. If nalilito, pwede naman kayong mag-factor 3. Next, the index is the lowest possible index. So, pabababain natin to if possible pa. And there should be no radical in the denominator o kaya naman ay fraction sa radicand. Kaya kapag may nakita kayong radical sa denominator, kailangan natin i-rationalize ito. But for this lesson, focus tayo dito sa dalawang naunang statements. Ang tanong, bakit nga ba natin ito kailangan gawin? May calculator na. Yes, totoo yun. Pero paano kung wala kang calculator? Anong gagawin mo? O diba, iba ang may alam. In general, the properties of radicals which can be useful in simplifying radicals are shown dito sa ating kanan. That is, for any non-negative real numbers x and y and positive integers m and n, we have the product rule for radicals, the quotient rule for radicals, and the definition of nth root para sa ating nested radicals and rational exponents. So, how do we simplify radicals? By reducing the radicand. Let's have some examples. Example 1. The square root of 96. So, para ma-simplify natin ito, kailangan muna natin i-factor yung 96 na kung saan yung isang factor niya ay isang perfect square. Ayan, meron tayo ditong review kung paano natin i-apply yung factor 3 kung sakaling hindi ninyo kabisado yung mga perfect squares natin. So, yung mga factors na hinahanap natin ay 16 times 6. Yung 16 ang ating perfect square. So, i-enclose lang natin ang mga factors na ito sa ating radical na may index na 2. So, hindi na natin nakikita yung index na 2 kasi automatic na yon na kapag walang number dyan, that is a square root. And extract the root of the perfect square factor and affix the factor which is not a perfect square. So, in here, we have the square root of 16 is equal to 4 and then copy lang yung square root of 6 natin kasi hindi ito perfect square. Therefore, the simplest form of square root of 96 is 4 square root of 6. Example 2, the fifth root of 96. So, para ma-simplify natin ito, kailangan muna natin i-factor yung 96 na kung saan yung isang factor niya ay isang perfect fifths. So, ayan ulit. Meron tayo ulit ditong review ng factor 3 para sa factors ng 96 or prime factors ng 96. So, yung mga factors na hinahanap natin ay 32 times 3. Yung 32 yung ating perfect fifths. So, i-enclose lang natin yung mga factors na ito sa ating radical na mayroong index na 5. Ayan. And extract the root of the perfect fifths factor and affix the factor which is not a perfect fifths. So, in here, we have the fifth root of 32 is 2. And then, copy lang natin yung fifth root of 3. Therefore, the simplest form of the fifth root of 96 is 2 times the fifth root of 3. Example 3. 3 square root of 90. So, para ma-simplify natin ito, kailangan muna natin i-factor yung 90, ito, na kung saan yung isang factor niya ay isang perfect square. Yan ulit, meron tayo ulit review kung paano natin i-factor yung 90 para madali nating makuha kung sakali na hindi ninyo kabisado yung mga perfect squares. So, ang mga factors na hinahanap natin ay 9 times 10. Yung 9, yun yung ating perfect square. So, i-enclose lang natin ulit yung mga factors nito sa ating radical na mayroong index na 2. Copy lang natin itong 3. And extract the root of the perfect square factor and affix the factor which is not a perfect square. Remember, the square root of 9 is a perfect square. So, we have copy lang yung 3. And then, yung square root of 9 natin, which is 3. And then, copy lang natin yung square root of 10. Kasi hindi naman perfect square yung 10. Kaya, copy lang. Then, 3 times 3 is 9. Then, copy lang yung square root of 10. Therefore, the simplest form of 3 square root of 90 is 9 square root of 10. Example 4, the square root of x to the 7th power. So we write x to the 7th as the product of a perfect square and x. So kung mapapansin nyo, if sa variable, ang kailangan lang ay yung highest exponent na divisible dito sa ating index. So yung exponent na 6 ay divisible dito sa ating index na 2. So, pinag-separate lang natin yung dalawang factors. So, we have the square root of x to the 6th times the square root of x. Then, use the product property of square roots. Simplify the perfect square. So, ito yung ating perfect square. Kaya, ang next line natin ay square root of x to the 6th power is x cubed. And then, copy lang natin yung square root of x. Therefore, the simplest form of the square root of x to the 7th is x cubed square root of x, or x cubed times the square root of x. Example 5, 3x times the square root of 8x cubed y to the 13th. So, first, we write the radicand 8x cubed y to the 13th as a factor of a perfect square and 2xy. Okay? So, that is 4x squared y to the 12 times 2xy. So, paano nangyari to? So, tingnan natin to. Yung factors ng 8, dapat yung isa nating factor dito ay perfect square. So, that is 4 and 2. Yung 4 yung ating perfect square. Next natin, yung x naman. Yung factors ng x cubed ay x squared and x. Remember, kapag variable, yung highest exponent na pwede nating i-divide dito sa index. So, that is x squared. And then, yung factors naman ng ating y to the 13th ay y to the 12th and y. Okay? Kaya nakuha itong ating dalawang factors na yan. So, kung mapapansin nyo, uulitin natin, if sa variable, ang kailangan lang ay yung highest exponent na divisible sa index. So, next natin is to apply the product property of square roots. Anong nangyari? Copy lang yung 3x and then pinaghiwalay lang yung itong dalawang factors natin na 4x squared y to the 12 and 2xy. Then, extract the square root of 4x squared y to the 12. So, copy lang ulit yung 3x. So, yung square root ng factor na to ay 2xy to the 6th. And then, copy lang itong ating square root of 2xy. Then, multiply natin yung 3x natin dito sa 2xy to the 6. Kaya yung next line natin ay 3 times 2, that is 6. X times x, x squared. Copy lang yung y to the 6 kasi wala namang y na factor dito. And then, copy lang din itong ating square root of 2xy. Therefore, the simplest form of 3x times the square root of 8x cubed y to the 13th is 6x squared y to the 6 times the square root of 2xy. Example 6, the square root of 25 times the square of x plus 2. So first, we need to factor the radicand as a product of perfect squares. That is 25 times the square of x plus 2. So, kung mapapansin nyo, both factors are perfect squares. Kaya dito sa next line natin, separate lang natin sila and then in-enclose sa kanya-kanyang square roots. The square root of 25 is 5 and the square root of the square of x plus 2 is x plus 2. Naalala nyo yung lesson natin? Kapag magkapareho yung index and yung exponent, cancel lang, kaya naging x plus 2 na lang to. And then afterwards, dito sa next line natin, we need to apply the distributive property. That is, 5 times x is 5x, 5 times positive 2 is positive 10. Therefore, the simplest form is 5x plus 10. And that is how we simplify radicals by reducing the radicand. Next natin is simplifying radicals by reducing the index. So, ito yung mga rules na in-apply natin kanina by reducing the radicands. Ngayon naman, in reducing the index, itong third statement ang pwede nating i-apply. So, to simplify radicals by reducing the index, we need to, step 1, write the radical or change the radical in exponential form. And step 2, reduce the fractional exponent to its lowest terms. Let's have some examples. So, example 7 natin, simplify the 8th root of a to the 12th power. So, first step is to find a factor of a radicand that is a power of 8. Tulad ng ginawa natin kanina, if sa variable, ang kailangan lang ay yung highest exponent na divisible sa ating index. So, itong ating a to the 12th power, nahati lang sa dalawang factors na a to the 8 and a to the 4th. Find the 8th root of each factor. So, yung 8th root of a to the 8 ay naging a, and then copy lang yung 8th root of a to the 4th. Then, change the radical to exponential form. So, yung a natin, copy lang. Tapos, yung 8th root of a to the 4th, naging a raised to the 4 over 8 power. And then, reduce natin itong ating rational exponent to its lowest term. So, itong a raised to the 4/8 power will become a raised to the 1/2. Copy lang itong ating a ulit natin kanina. And then, change the exponential form to radical form. Ibabalik na naman natin siya sa radical form. Kaya naman, itong ating a raised to the 1/2 power ay naging square root of a. Therefore, the simplest form of 8 root of a to the 12th power is equal to a square root of a, or a times the square root of a. Example 8, simplify the 4th root of 25. So, first step natin is to change it to exponential form. Kaya naman, yung 25 natin naging 5 squared. And from here, pwede pa natin itong i-change to another exponential form. So, yung 4th root of 5 squared natin, naging 5 raised to the power of 2/4. Then, reduce the rational exponent, ito yon, to its lowest term. Kaya naging 5 raised to the power of 1/2. So, ito na yung reduced or simplified form nitong ating 2/4. Okay? So, next natin gagawin is to change the exponential to radical form. Ibabalik natin siya sa radical form niya. Kaya naman, yung 5 raised to the power of 1/2 naging square root of 5. Therefore, the fourth root of 25 in simplest form is equal to the square root of 5. Next natin, example 9, the sixth root of 27m cubed. So, first step natin is to express 27 as a power of 3, that is 3 cubed. So, kung hindi kabisado yung mga perfect cubes, perfect squares, and so on, alam na anong gagawin, you can apply the factor 3. And then, copy lang natin itong ating m cube. So, yung 27m cube, naging 3 cube m cube. Okay? Then, apply the laws of exponent, yung product rule natin. Since pareho naman na cube, yung exponent ng 3 at m, pinagsama na lang natin sila. Kaya we have the quantity of 3m cubed dito as our radicand. Then, change radical to exponential form. Yung 6th root of the quantity of 3m cubed natin, naging the quantity of 3m raised to the power of 3 over 6. So, reduce the rational exponent to lowest term. Kaya yung 3/6 natin, naging 1/2 na lang. Then, change exponential form to radical form. Kaya itong the quantity of 3m raised to the power of 1/2 natin ay naging the square root of 3m. Therefore, the 6th root of 27m cubed is equal to square root of 3m in simplest form. And that is how we simplify radicals by reducing the index. Ayan, pinababa natin yung mga index from 6, naging 2 na lang. So, yun yung ating mga steps. That is our lesson for this week. See you again next time. Ingat and God bless.